What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Shiba today. Shiba Inu at the request of Sharpshooter. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it. So looking at Shiba Inu here, what I want to do first and foremost is I want to look at the lows. I want to look at the lows, man. I want to look at the lows. Here we go. I want to go back in time and just see. Oh, look at that. That bottom there, that low, you're finding support at previous areas of resistance here. Kind of at previous areas of support there, previous areas of resistance there, some resistance. Yes, okay, so finding support at areas that make sense. That's nice. Okay, so you found a low there. Then you moved up. Where did you find your low? You found your low right here at, you guessed it, previous areas of resistance and support. That's beautiful. And then you moved up again, and then you found your low, right? Maybe not the wicking low, but this low here. And where was that? Right at previous areas of resistance. That's not good enough for you. You want the wick? Okay, well, still basically right at previous areas of resistance as well. So this kind of structure where you do this thing, right, where you move sideways and then you move up and then you move sideways again and then you move up and then you move sideways. I mean, more or less move sideways and then you move up, right? It's very bullish kind of structure, right, where you're finding support at previous areas of resistance on each step of the way up, right? It's very, very, very nice. This means likely that by the time Shiba Inu does see its next move up, where you're going to find support likely would be somewhere around the areas that you found resistance now, right? Your next lows are going to be substantially higher than they are now, right? So it's kind of funny that kind of perspective. I love it because it's like right here, this is discouraging based off of where you were before, but back here, this is like the cream of the crop, right? So it's funny how time changes the perspectives of all things. But ultimately, Shiba does look like it's in an upward trajectory. I do think it continues to move up. We look at a daily time frame here, daily RSI. And you can see, yes, you have some lower highs, lower lows, relatively speaking. You're at your oversold zone, okay? Daily RSI doesn't look the best in the daily. I would suggest that you go lower, a little bit lower, from a high to a low, or a low to a high, I should say. I would expect to move down to about 402. You're at 40217 now, so 40204, 402 itself, even a little bit lower at like 4019, 195 could be a possibility. You probably see that happen between now and sometime in the beginning of next week. But I would think that next week you find your low. If not, sometime this week, by the end of the week, you find your low and you start moving up. All in all, I think Shiba Inu, again, I think this low here came in at a nice area in respects to this low here. You had your crazy bull cycle mania, right? And then just a very long kind of drawn out bear cycle where initially you just sold off very fast, but then you moved sideways, right? You moved sideways for a long time. This is a nice accumulation phase. You had your bullish move out with decent volume coming out, very nice move. And then you found support right at your weekly 123 moving average where the green line is here. Beautiful. And it was at previous areas of resistance at this last phase of the consolidation zone. So very beautiful. Absolutely, I think Shiba Inu is on a trajectory higher. It could, I mean, who knows, man? You might have some kind of parabolic look going about you right now. Shiba, genuinely, Shiba Inu, you've actually got this very nice parabolic structure going on right now. It's not as nice to the upside, but that's okay. Just from a bottom perspective. Maybe it's not a parabola, but still the support is arc-like. From a high to a low here on the overall fib, you hit your 786. It's very common when finding resistance at the 786 to either find support at the 618 or literally go all the way back down to your 0.5382 area, sometimes even the 236. The 786 is not forgiving whenever you find resistance there. But finding support at the 382 like that, I really do like that. I don't think you go below that low, just solidifying that even more. But again, the lowest, you're at 40217 right now. I do think you really solid chance of going down to like 402 around that area, I think. When it does come time to move higher, I don't believe, because you hit the 786, I don't believe you'll stop at the 886 personally. You could, it's possible. If you did stop at the 886, what you might do is you might consolidate between the 886 and the 786 for a very brief amount of time. I'm talking about like less time than this, 3 weeks or less, right? A very brief amount of time. If you stop at 403881, the 886, if you stop here, you'll probably find resistance there, find support at previous areas of resistance as you have this whole time here, right? Or maybe you make a straight run for 406776, right? Regardless of how it looks, regardless of where it is that you stop, wherever it is, when you break above the 886, when you break above 403881, when you break above that, you likely will not stop until 406,776 to 30,11168, right? Those are your target destinations. And then we play off of this last cycle high to the bear cycle low, last cycle high to the bear cycle low here. And we look at the targets that base off of this and compare it to this fib here. You've got the 1886200 area. That's a nice little area there, wrapping around the 1272. I think there's a strong case to be made that Shiba Inu would at least, for new all-time highs this cycle, stop at 30185 for a cycle high. Potentially 30287, and then even 30473. Because you've got a very significant fib with this relative high and relative low move here. This fib, I think, is going to be very significant throughout the rest of the cycle. And then, of course, the granddaddy fib, the all-time high to cycle low fib, I would also suspect the primary target zone here would play out throughout the rest of the cycle, as well. I don't know why I can't talk. It's like I'm slurring my words. I haven't had alcohol in months, guys. Not even for the holidays. It's just that time of day, man. I don't know what it is, but I like seeing this expected zone, the 1272. Literally every level we have on this lines up with levels of significance on this as well. Like literally this whole area is the secondary target zone. This is the primary target zone. This is a secondary target zone. And your whole secondary target zone, all of those targets line up very well with the primary zone of this more resounding fib. So I love that. I definitely think at a minimum 30185 for Shiba is inevitable by the end of the cycle. But likely you do see even higher targets than that. The highest I'd give it is 3047. And I mean, maybe you could go higher. Maybe you could go down to 201. Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt it personally. I don't even know what the market cap would be. What would that be? Let's just see. Right, because SHIB going to above 100 billion this cycle, I could see it. It's possible. But like above 200, I don't think so. You're at 12.8 now. Let's just call it 13 billion. I mean, a 10x from 13 billion, that's about here. That's 130 billion. Yeah, so I mean, I could see maybe not the 1618. I mean, that'd be pushing it. You'd be just above 200 billion there, man. Actually, well above 200 billion, pushing 300 billion here. So I don't know about that for Shiba, but I do like 4 zeros. Let's say 403 to 402, somewhere in that area makes a lot of sense to me. If not just below 402, but I think 403 around that area is where you're going to go by the end of the cycle. Short-term stuff again. Going back to this, looking at the daily time frame. The daily, we already went over that. Let's look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour here getting higher highs while promoting lower highs, right? You've got lower highs here, higher highs in the 4-hour. That's hidden bearish divergence. You're not getting overbought. You're not even living above the 60 line, but you are getting oversold. You are living below the 50, right? And even at times living below the 40. So definitely a bearish 4-hour. Tells me that in the short term you go down, which makes sense. That was the initial call to start the video. So something around 402 is where you're going to go. We'll find our low probably later this week, if not early next week, and then build our way up going into the beginning of next year. And that's all I got for you guys. So if you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I think that Shiba is very near its lows, and I think that it will build up higher. The next target area that I would give it, likely by the end of January, if I really had to guess, would be anything from, come on, man, anything from 4039 to really 407 is on the table by the end of January, I would say. Yeah. Maybe even 4086, but I like, oftentimes, like, you can see this level hit, but oftentimes you don't just make a straight run to that. You could make a straight run more or less to your 2272. You could, I don't know. I would think by the end of January, you're at 40217 now. Knowing what I expect out of most of the market, I would expect you're probably around this by the end of January. 4048, which is around this high here. That's my current expectation. Then you probably spend the rest of January, February, going into March consolidating, and then end of March, April, you'll start expanding upwards again. But that's my thoughts, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.